You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I'm your host, Matt Burns, and just so everybody knows, if you hear any noises in the background, any rattling, anything happening, any chatter, it's probably because I've got me usual show visiting partner, the one who I'm always with, which is Gina.
Hi.
Also known as Troublemaker.
Not a troublemaker.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Halo. Halo.
And you know exactly what I say about that, but, we'll behave. We'll behave. But, in case anybody is wondering what is going on, this episode is pre-recorded, and, you probably guessed that just from the fact that it's just been put up live instead of it being actually on live. Which this will most likely be going on at 9 o'clock, bang on within the time frame I stated, which is any time between 9 and 10 o'clock. But the main reason why I'm not doing it live today is because, unfortunately, I would not be able to be here to do it live between 9 and 10 o'clock, which is, the reason being for that is I will be at FCW, also known as Future Championship Wrestling, and I will be doing commentary there, which I can also say FCW is going to be an absolute packed show. I would state to everybody, you need to be there, you've got to be there. Unfortunately, most likely the show would be already halfway done or over by the time this is already aired. Does that sound about right?
Yep.
Right. But with that already being said, we'll move on to some of the main topics of The Burning Truth, which is wrestling. As always, every week, the UKWA has been doing a roster reveal every Monday on social media. They have stated, yes, they haven't done any on Twitter and Instagram, but that is due to certain images that they're trying to acquire for the members that they've released for that week. But they have stated that they will do a backlog of them and pretty much get them out all together as soon as they've got the correct images that need to be able to be displayed, or ones that they can possibly use. But please check out the UKWA social media, because you never know, we could be getting a single wrestler, we could be getting a tag team, who knows, there could be more than one roster reveal. And speaking of roster reveals, the last one that the UKWA had a AJ Hughes. Now, I'm no stranger to AJ Hughes, seeing as on recent shows he has been having, been doing sneak attacks, vicious attacks on myself. What?
He's sneaky.
And he seems to be trying to get himself linked to some super kick parties, especially with the cheap shots. But he has recently, and I will congratulate him on this, become the Fusion Pro Wrestling Grand Champion. But as he was announced for the UK, as he announced himself as part of the UKWA roster, he made an open challenge to anybody at UKWA, and which, anybody on the roster, for his championship. Now, one piece of advice I can also say to AJ, be careful with open challenges, because being somebody who's done an open challenge, 9 out of 10 times, you usually get your arse handed to you. What?
Just funny.
Which is true. It is. It's true. You do most of the time. But the question that you forgot, you did state anybody on the roster. The question that you forgot possibly to mention is, does that only include the current rosters that have been announced, or does that mean upcoming as well? Because you haven't stated that, everyone who is possibly rumoured to be on the roster is possibly going to be bugging management and back and forth and everything, demanding championship matches, title shots. But management have stated, or higher up management have basically stated that they are going to be leaving that in the capable hands of their general manager,
Dun, dun, dun.
which is Christopher Drew. Actually, apologies for that. I'll announce him correctly. The entrepreneur, Christopher Drew. Or as I like to call him, the man that Gravity remembered. You're welcome, Chris. I don't know how much you're probably going to be hating that. But that, there's possibly that's going to be left in his capable hands. So there could be an announcement from the general manager of UKDA coming on to the UKDA social media. So keep an eye out for that. Now, there's a lot to discuss with this week, and I know a lot of people who probably listen know that I don't usually do big massive reveals or talk about Raw and SmackDown and do any big massive spoilers and everything, but this one, it is something that was announced on Raw. It did happen on Raw, but it is big news and something to discuss, which is Roman Reigns has vacated the WWE Universal Championship. Now, to some people who's already seen this, which is probably going to be most of you, that is, I know a lot of people who may have booed him and not liked him, may wanted him to lose the title somehow, but I'm pretty sure that every person, regardless of if they like him or not, did not want him to vacate the championship because of the reason behind it, which is he has been battling leukemia for at least 11 years, and it's now come back. And he is now having to come away from wrestling to battle leukemia once again, which is, I can honestly say, some might say, oh, he's doing it to get himself healthy and everything, but regardless of it, it's probably what's best for himself and for business. He had a lot of people could have turned around and said, I'm going to lose my, I want to treasure my moment and keep on to it for as long as possible and keep going for as long as possible because I don't feel like I'm going to be coming back. Now, Roman has taken this into account and has decided to put the championship before himself and say the show must go on. And I could say some amazing words, say how great that is, but I think Paul Heyman said it best in the promo that he was cutting, the fact that he was saying he was in the locker room of more than just, wrestlers in the back, heroes, God people, champion, amazing people. And you'll find it very hard for anybody to disagree with the statement that Heyman made. The fact that on Monday, WWE did have the right Universal Championship before midnight, which is Roman Reigns, and that speech that was given by Paul Heyman was absolutely amazing and touching, and what a speech from Roman Reigns as well, because I know some people might be thinking this could be the last time we see Roman, because you never know with health and everything, but I don't think it will be the last time we see him. I honestly think Roman will keep up to his word. He will kick leukemia's ass, and he will come back to wrestling to entertain everybody and try to reclaim his WWE Universal Championship. But he has got a long battle, but I'm sure that his family, his friends, all the wrestling community will be behind him. I'm sure, whether you love the guy, whether you dislike the guy on the show, regardless of it, he is battling leukemia, and I think everyone, we should all stand up to leukemia, to cancer, and pretty much, stand up to it because it's a big bully and it needs to be pretty much taught a lesson.
I agree.
But from myself, from most likely troublemaker. I know as much as you hate that term, Gina, and probably from the burning truth in the wrestling community, we hope that Roman Reigns does have a speedy recovery and that he is able to kick leukemia's ass. Now, on some other additional news, which is Matt Riddle is going to be on NXT this upcoming week. In case anybody wants to know who Matt Riddle is, he is a former UFC MMA fighter. He is a internet darling, as Michael Cole might pronounce, and many people might have seen Matt Riddle on shows like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Progress, and many others. The guy's an absolute brilliant wrestler, fighter, and everything. So if anybody wants to check that out, please check that out, as it will be very, very interesting to watch. But moving on from Matt Riddle and NXT, we need to discuss a bit of injuries. One injury I will discuss a bit later when I mention about WWE Evolution. The one I want to talk about is Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe has got a injury that has not been clearly stated. However, there has been mention that he might have been walking around with a shoe injury, like like a cast foot or something. He might have injured his foot, but that's nothing confirmed or anything. But regardless of it, I hope Samoa Joe does have a speedy recovery and that he's able to get back into the ring and be able to do whatever he does best, which is pretty much kicking ass, as the crowd usually chants, "Joe's going to kill you." But we'll get this all sorted out. But let's move on to the other injury, which will come within this news, which is WWE Evolution, which is the first ever WWE all-women's pay-per-view. Not like what Stephanie McMahon said, which was the first ever all-women's pay-per-view. Sorry, Stephanie, that has already been done on the Independents in Japan, I believe, and a few other places. Because we do have companies like Shimmer, Pro Wrestling Eve, and everything. So unfortunately, not the case. But it is good that it is the first ever WWE all women's pay-per-view, and I can also say I've already put my predictions up and everything, which I believe was yesterday, and it was getting shared out as quickly as I believe it was actually officially put up on Friday, but most likely probably you might have not noticed until the Saturday. But if anybody does actually have any anything to add on to it, or put any, go on to there and put your comments on the bottom. But one thing I will need to state is this: there is one match I could not predict or be able to foresee because the matches actually had to change due to injury, which is Alexa Bliss has had to be replaced by Alicia Fox due to injury. Now that is unfortunate, but I'm still going to go with my result, my prediction still, regardless of if you change, Alexa Bliss for Alicia Fox. We'll still push on forward. I could possibly just do a quick update before that happens and get that pretty much all, updated. But it is unfortunate that there is an injury, but I know a lot of people are going to be complaining, stating, Alexa Bliss for Alicia Fox. Why? And even I'm questioning that, and I can see you laughing there. Why are you laughing?
No comment.
Why are you laughing?
No comment.
Why no comment?
Because I'd swear, and I'm not allowed to. No comment. I think she's shit.
Oh! In case, I am so glad that these are this recording and everything goes after 9 o'clock because we are past the watershed. And as anybody who has probably been a listener to The Burning Truth, when I did actually have a co-host with me, which would be Nathan, he used to be very, very swear happy, and I used to keep saying, "Thank God for the watershed," and especially being past it. But Alicia Fox she has been wrestling for quite some time, but I think this is a massive step up because you've got Alexa Bliss teaming up. Well, just look at the match: Alexa Bliss, Mickie James versus Trish and Lita. That is almost sort of like the past meeting the present. But you've also got Mickie James, who was involved with the wrestling days of Lita and Trish Stratus and everything. It is something that's going to be special, and unfortunately, I feel as though a lot of people might not think that Alicia Fox isn't going to be able to step up to the plate as much as Alexa Bliss. Now, me personally, I feel as though she might not, but I have one thing to state to Alicia Fox: prove me wrong.
No.
Prove me wrong.
No.
Prove everybody, all your naysayers, doubters, wrong by putting on a brilliant match, be entertaining, and show what you can do. Prove us wrong.
No.
You don't think she will? Right. You might have your doubts, but I love to be proved wrong. Whenever I've made like my own personal videos and everything, and I state, "Oh, I don't think this person should be there." Whenever someone proves me wrong, I absolutely love it because it shows that, regardless of whatever I can say whatever, I can voice my own opinion and everything. But if someone proves me wrong, to me personally, I feel as though it's not because they prove me wrong because what I said they've gone out and done. It's more or less of, you've put me in my place. You've shown that you've got more heart for wrestling than what people give you credit for, and you deserve the position that you're in.
We will see.
But like what we just stated, we'll have to wait and see and be entertained by it. Now, moving on from that, I have got to discuss WWE Crown Jewel. Now, as most might actually listen to The Burning Truth and everything, some may know, some may not know, WWE Crown Jewel has been getting a lot of heat lately in regards to the current events that have been happening in Saudi Arabia and everything, but I will not be discussing them events. If anybody does want to discuss that, I recommend that you do look it up yourself, but if you do look it up, please be forewarned that the news and information that you may be provided may be unsuitable for young audiences. Now, in regards to the event that has been happening in Saudi Arabia, it looks like WWE has doubled down and UFC have actually backed out, which goes to state that two companies are having different views on the current situation. One's backing out, one's going in. We will have to wait and see which is the right choice, and WWE are going to get a lot of flack for this, especially over the current events that have actually been happening, because there's been such terms as they're taking blood money and everything. That might not be the case at all, more likely, but due to the events that has gone on, it is unfortunate, and there's also speculation that some of the top wrestlers don't want to be involved, involved with the details and everything. So there could be some changes to the Crown Jewel card. We'll have to wait and see, but it is unfortunate of what's been going on. And one thing I do want to state in regards to WWE themselves. Now, this is not a jab at Saudi Arabia under no circumstance it is. I feel as though, yes, it's great that you've got multiple pay-per-views happening on the WWE Network, which is on $9.99. Vince, please give me, please, you're going to have to start paying me for these cheap plugs. But the one thing I will clearly need to state is, yes, them doing a pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia is absolutely massive and big. I feel as though WWE have been pushing WWE Crown Jewel way more than WWE Evolution. And the problem I have with that is, well, it's not a take into account that WWE Evolution is the first ever all-women's pay-per-view. And it's something that WWE has never done. And a lot of people could say that there's the possible reason behind this is more to do with the money that's being involved in regards to making for it. Which, fair enough, that is WWE's got goal plan, to being paid more than fair enough. If they've agreed to that, and that's fair too. But at the same time, I feel as though it's taken a bit of an edge off Evolution because they have been having some announcements and big pushes, and it was good that they had Shane McMahon announce about WWE Evolution as well, and that they're also going to have but also on Crown Jewel they're going to have like a World Cup to state who is the best in the world. Oh, side note, nice little diversion when CM Punk was being chanted by the crowd, and Shane McMahon pretty much said, unfortunately, he's not in. Did not expect that. But it feels as though it's taken a bit of an edge. And also, what made me laugh is you got WWE Crown Jewel being announced as whoever wins it becomes the best in the world. WWE, massive flaw there. You're stating whoever is the World Cup winner is the best in the world around. You've just diminished your two main champions, which is the WWE Champion and the WWE Universal Champion. So you just test the belts. So basically, what are you saying? Are you saying everybody who wins the World Cup is more prestigious than being WWE Champion or WWE Universal Champion? You need to take that into consideration in future. You should never ever put down, sort of make it seem like you're downgrading your own championship belt, especially with the history that has been building up and slowly getting better with each new champion that comes along for the WWE Championship or the WWE Universal Championship. Now, moving on to the last piece of wrestling news that I want to discuss, which is APW, Academy Pro Wrestling. They did an announcement on they did like a live video yesterday on their channel stating that they've got some big announcement / reveal for next week. They haven't stated what it is. I'm intrigued by it. I'm sure Gina's intrigued by it. We want to know. But we've got to wait and see. So please keep an eye out on Academy Pro Wrestling's social media for when that announcement, which could end up being next Saturday. So keep an eye out for that. And with all that being said, that will be a wrap up for the news for the Burning Truth for this week. So now I'm going to move on to our plug, onto the plugs, which is please check out UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. Please check out their social media. They've also been doing some YouTube videos and everything. And I believe that they might be having a website coming out soon, which will most likely be www.ukwrestlingalliance.com. So keep an eye out for when that gets revealed, because there could be some interesting stuff on there. I recommend everybody check out the UK Wrestling Media, also known as UKWM. And yes, I know I have stated that there was some news in regards to them, but nothing has been officially announced as of yet. If there is any news in regards to them, I will make sure it's on the Burning Truth. I'll see if I can even get the higher ups involved on the show if possible. I recommend everyone check out JG Printing and Stitching. They do fantastic work.
I agree.
And this one's a big one for myself, as I'll always love to announce these ones, which is, please check out Mind and Changes UK, because they do such great work for your own personal health, well-being, and the information that they do provide on the website could end up providing information that could either help yourself or someone that you might know. You never know. I recommend you all check out Team 4 Star, especially for their Abridged series. I know I said series because they have multiple ones. What? Series? Well, of course. They have multiple ones. They have, the ultimate, Housing Ultimate. They've also got Dragon Ball Z Abridged. What?
Series.
Seriously?
That's funny. I'm not going to let you live that one down.
Whatever. I'm used to it by now. Even if some might say that's a mess up, okay, I'll just say this: multiple shows on there. Is that better for you? Moving on. What?
Series.
Let's move on. Check out bands as such like The New Breed, Kamens. They do absolutely.
Jesse's Divide.
What?
Jesse's Divide.
Right, another band to also announce as well is
Jesse's Divide.
Please check them out. And of course, I've got to fit this one in almost every week whenever I can. Botchamania! In case anybody wants to know what that is. It's all wrestling botches. Check them out. They're funny. You're welcome, Matthew. And please check out Barely Average Studios, which is a game review channel. And it's on YouTube. So please check them out. If anybody's also into some game live streaming, check out Fatal Misfire, which is on Twitch. They're usually streaming on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which they usually start anytime between 7 PM and 9 PM GMT/BST, which is part of twitch.tv/Fatal Misfire HD. Now, 3 additional shout outs I want to give out to which is they all have got involved with YouTube. One of them involved with another social media, and I will just discuss them. Some of them might have heard me mention this one on the past 2 episodes, which is Phil DeFranco, which is also known as Philip DeFranco. Please check him out for any some news information and entertainment. He is absolutely brilliant. I think the way he does bring news to the public on YouTube is absolutely funny, hilarious, and he tries his best to keep it as uplifting as possible, regardless of whether the news he's providing is not so great. I also want to give a massive shout out to When Fandom Strikes, which is very interesting. The funny thing about this is I actually came across When Fandom Strikes on another social media called TikTok, and absolutely hilarious, got me laughing, especially with the segment called Things That Keep Me Up at Night.
Yeah, she is quite funny.
It is quite funny.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that she does. I'm not going to be revealing any of them at all, because I recommend you check them out. And I don't just mean just check out just a TikTok. Please check out her YouTube channel. And if I'm not mistaken, she's also got a Patreon, because she's now decided to take YouTube full time. So all the best to her. And the last one I want to give a shout out to is Luke Moto, who was also a who's also on YouTube, and I believe he also does something on most weekends. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he also does a bit of wrestling. But he also has a different channel for that, but I'll not discuss that one. But please check out Luke Moto. He is, I will say, supposedly on one of his last videos, he's got somebody trying to state his videos aren't the best. So, which is why I'm going to state hashtag Moto, to state that I'm supporting Moto. So give them a check out. And last but not least, I recommend everyone check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. It could be where you're listening to this you could be listening to the broadcast live. It could also be where you're listening to past episodes, the most recent episode, past interviews, show reviews. Check out the merchandise, where you can get some snazzy t-shirts and also some office mugs, which make great presents. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
There is a blog section which has been mostly just been reviewed for predictions. I will get round to getting a blog. I'm pretty sure that Troublemaker has already beaten me around the head a few times for not doing the blog.
I do keep telling you.
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm not concussed from it. And it's also a great way. There's also a contact page where you can get in touch with the Burning Truth. There's also a links page as well, which most of the links I've already mentioned on this broadcast could possibly be on there. And I also recommend everyone to check out the social media of the Burning Truth, which is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. The Twitter one's a bit different, which is, I'll actually spell it out for you, which is WRESLING4THWALL. And of course, as with recent news with last week, we are also on Spotify, which is another outlet for the Burning Truth. So if you want to check us out on there, I would love that and greatly appreciate it. And of course, I also recommend everyone to check out any local wrestling on their social media, because you can end up getting some free tickets, some great prizes from competitions that they do on their social media. But, kind of like how United Wrestling Live do it, don't they? United Wrestling Live do it.
Mm-hmm.
Pro Wrestling for You. We've also got Shropshire Wrestling Alliance and FCW. So check them out. And that will be a wrap up for this week. And of course, as always, yes, just before I go, I know I was actually at the United Wrestling. I did watch the United Wrestling show, unfortunately, because there's that much to discuss and such a small limited time.
Let's just say it was really good.
It was really good, fantastic. I'll most likely be covering a bit of that next week on next week's episode. So, I just also mention that for you as well. But with that, I recommend that will be a wrap up for this week's episode. I will catch you all next week. And as always, stay well, stay safe, and please, as always, check out your local wrestling. Till then, catch you laters.